Very good morning to all of you. I hope you all are going good. So today we are going to see how to install Anaconda distribution, how to install Jupyter Notebook, and how to use Jupyter Notebook, what are the toolbar of Jupyter Notebook, how to write the Python programs in Jupyter Notebook, and what are the basic rules which we need to follow to write a program in Python. So basically we are going to see first how to install the Anaconda. Anaconda distribution is available for Windows, Linux, Macintosh. You can find a step to download the Anaconda for Windows through the Anaconda distribution as well. So here there is a download button. Firstly, you have to type in the browser anaconda.com, and here you can click free download. Already I installed in my system, so the exe is available inside the folder as well, right? So once you install, what you have to do, you have to double click on the exe. It will going to be started executing on your system, and then you have to click on the next, read the license agreement and click on I agree. Select and install just me and click on next. Select the destination folder and click on the next button. Do not change anything on the path option and click on the install. In the last screen, just show up and click on the finish. After that, it will going to be get installed in your system, right? How to open the Anaconda prompt? Just you have to click on the window button, and then Anaconda folder is there. Here you need to click on the Anaconda prompt. When you click on this Anaconda prompt, this black window will going to get open, right? And there you need to just write Jupyter Notebook. What you have to write here? Jupyter Notebook, as I have written here, Jupyter, Jupyter Notebook, Notebook. When you will write this command on the CMD prompt on the black window, it will start executing their connections with the Python and Anaconda. Once it will be done, it will show you the link. This is the link. You can copy and paste this URL in the browser, and Jupyter Notebook will going to get open, or it will automatically also open in the browser. But it will if it will not going to be get open, you can type this link and it will going to get open in the browser. This kind of home page will going to be displayed when it will going to be open. Now here you have to choose which language you want to work. So as you know, we are working on the Python language, so we will choose which language from here. You need to click on the new file and choose Python 3 IPY kernel. When you will click on this Python 3 IPY kernel, this untitled 4 Jupyter Notebook will going to be get open. If it is untitled 1, if it is untitled 2, so based on that it will going to be displayed. Here you can see that different menus are there: file, edit, view, insert, cell, kernel, widget and help. So these menus, as in the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, different menus are there. Same here also, there are lots of menus are there. So basically in the file menu, you can create a new new notebook, open an existing notebook, make a copy, save the notebook with a new name, checkpoint a notebook, download as a Python file, or just close the notebook. Here you can see all the operations are available. New notebook, open, make a copy, save as your name, checkpoint, revert, print. Same as in the edit, you can cut the cell, copy, paste, delete, edit. So these options are available in the view menu. Basically you can see toggle header, toggle for toolbar, toggle line number. In the insert menu, you can inserting the cell above or below. This cell can contain the Python code, data, text or HTML, etc. for the views. Next is the cell menu. This cell menu is useful for debugging or running the code cell by cell, or all the cells together, or in the selected cell, as well as looking at output of the code written in the cell. So basically you can run the cell, run cell and select below, run cell and insert below. There are so many options are there. Next menu is kernel. Kernel is what? It is used for one can interrupt the program execution, restart the program, shut down or change the kernel process which runs the program. So basically it will be useful when you are executing your program. Next menu is widget. This is basically used for JavaScript widget while coding in Python, make calls to them, and to define or embed the widget, use embedded widget. You can get a skeleton structure of a WCAG or which can be customized. So you can download this WCAG, embedded WCAG. It's depend on your choice what you want to do. Here is a whole soul HTML code which you can include in your page. You can copy this code and include it. Depend on when you want to embed it. Help menu is basically it provides the reference material for syntax, right, as well as description of various options available by using Jupyter Notebook. So here you can see again keyboard shortcuts, notebook help, markdown, different icons are there. Also familiarize yourself with the tools that are present in the second line of the Jupyter menus, which has save, run, redo, etc. First is used for save, second is used for inserting the cell below, third option is used to cut the selected cell, fourth is used to create a copy, fifth is used for the paste cell below. Next is used for the move selected cell up. If you will press the up, then it will move to the up side. If you will press this down button, it will move to the down side. Run is used to execute the code. Stop button is used to stop or interrupt the kernel. This is used for the restart the kernel. This button is used to restart the kernel and rerun the whole notebook. Means the kernel will also going to be restarted and the whole notebook will also going to be restarted. Right? Code is used to select basically the type of cell where code or text or information or headings will contain. Right? This is the last which is used for command pilot to show the features of the Jupyter Notebook. Right? Now how to write the Python program in Jupyter Notebook. So these are the cells where you are writing the Python program. Suppose that I am writing here a equal to, right, press the enter button. Then after again I am writing a equal a plus 1. After that I am writing here print a. So what will happen? The value of a will going to get printed. Press the enter key, right, and then after if you want to execute this code, run cell, the output will be there on your screen, right? So what is the value of 3? That is 3, right? Now there are how to work on the Python. Suppose if you want to use this Python without the Jupyter Notebook, how to use it? For that you need to click on the start button, click on the Python, whatever version is there. In my system 3.11 and 2.7 both the versions are there. So I am clicking on the 3.11 IDLE. Right, the IDLE will going to get open. IDLE, I hope you must be knowing the full form of IDLE. What is the full form of IDLE? That is Integrated Development and Learning Environment. Right, so IDLE will going to get open. In IDLE, basically what are the applications of the Python you can make using this IDLE? That is web-based application, computer games, desktop, graphical user interface, software development, scientific or numeric applications. So many applications that are there. Now what are the character sets we can use in this Python language? As you know, every language are having the character set, the characters which are allowed to use in the language. So basically in Python, basically you can use the letters that is A to Z capital, A to Z small, numerical digits that is 0 to 9, special characters that are plus, minus, include, divide, and brackets, curly brackets, big brackets, less than, greater than. These signs are allowed, and indentation is also allowed, blank, tabs, carriage icon, internal representation. These are all same as you have discussed in the previous 9th class. This is all same. Next is a variable. Variable is what? It is a named location used to store the data in a memory. Suppose that I am taking a variable b equal 5 and right here I am writing the variable value, printing the variable value, print b. What it will get print? It will get print value of b, that is 5. Here I am taking a new variable, that is letter equal 6. So it is also created. Now you can see that what kind of variable letter is. You can type this function type, and inside this bracket you can type the letter variable name, and then after it will display that which kind of variable it is, what is the data type of this variable. So what are the characteristics of the variable? It has a name. Name should be meaningful based on the variable represent. It should not be the keyword. It can have different values of a certain kind based on the variable kind. Suppose that I am writing here capital A is equal 7, small a is equal 6. Print capital A. What it will get printed? 7 or 6? It will print 7. Sorry, spelling of print is wrong by mistake, so it is not displaying the output. Now you can see the output is 7. Why? Because the Python language considers both the variable capital A and small a in a different memory. It assigns a different memory for both the variables. It assumes the values are temporary in the program and changes as the program runs. Based on the logic, different values are assigned to the variable. What are the naming conventions of the variable? It should not be started with the letters. If I will write here 1c is equal 6, it will display the error. Why? Because it is not valid. You cannot start the variable name with the digit. Only underscore special character is there cannot be blank or special characters in variables names. So we have to take care when we are writing a variables. The small case and large case letters cannot be interchangeably used in variables names as they are considerably different, right? So what are the examples are valid, like first underscore names, comma, first, comma, C1, comma, B1. These kind of all the variables names are valid, right? Thank you everyone. I hope you must be understood these topics. So please practice it at your home.